You know, another problem that's facing the country today you always have interest rate people look at, and it's a problem, and that's what regulates kind of how all your businesses operate on. A lot of them are on credit. People buying homes, people buying cars, people buying appliances. A lot of people use credit, and that's been the American way, and it's nothing wrong with that. And banks and lending institutions, they make their money and they are employing people. So it's a good thing. It's nothing wrong with that, except when the interest rate goes up to where it shuts off your economy. And that's what's happening right now. If you look at the amount of homes that are shutting down, they're not building these projects out. A lot of people are turning and walking away from projects that they had on the board, just leaving them out there. And that's got a ripple effect that's going to be far-reaching, way more than what people believe. You know, a lot of people, if they've got money in the bank, they say, well, the interest went up to 3% or 5% or 6%, I'm going to make more money. But unfortunately, more of us have to borrow money. And when we're having to borrow money to do whatever we're going to do, and we can't afford a new car, we can't afford a new house, or we can't afford just to replace something, well, then that hurts the economy. It has a trickle-down effect that way. If you can't afford to pay the interest on that new car, then you're not going to buy that car. You'll drive the one you've got longer. And maybe that's just the way life goes. I guess that's it. It's ups and downs, and we all understand it. But interest rate is that's the quickest way to kill an economy, to bring in the inflation. And then when that happens, and you look at where our inflation is today, the highest has been in 40 years. You couple that up with everything else that you look at that is a negative. It's not a positive. You're looking at all the negatives that are out there. And this administration just turns a blind eye to it. I don't understand that. You know, you just can't imagine people just looking at their credit card bill, looking at their interest rate on their house because it moves up, or looking at on their car loan, if it's not fixed, it's going up, or you go down to buy something and you see now what the interest rate's going to be, and you say, well, I can't buy it because I have to wait till interest goes down. Well, that's just a full circle on the economy. Then that means those people that were making that product or building that house, well, they're going to lose their jobs. So there's going to be more and more people lose their jobs or come on hard times. Interest rate is a killer. That's what causes inflation to be what it is today. And you have to hang that one on President Joe Biden. He gets credit for that. The Democrats own that 100%. They get credit for that. And it doesn't seem to bother them. You know, I don't really know how high interest rates got to get or how bad things have got to be before American people say, you know what, I've had enough. I know this is wrong. And you can't just take it in your own hands and go out there and storm the courthouse or do things stupid. What you have to do is you have to vote. You have to talk to your neighbor about voting. You have to have some town hall meetings and get together and say, look, guys, we know this is wrong. Ladies, when you go to the store, you know what it's costing you. Your men and the women are both working to try to make ends meet. It's unfair. Many, many years ago, you had one person that worked. Now you have two people that work, and that's okay. I mean, everybody has an opportunity to get out there and better their life and better their family. But you shouldn't have to work just to pay the high interest, or because groceries got too high or gasoline got too high. You need to be able to take the fruits of your labor and enjoy it and not pay it out because somebody's mismanaged this economy for you. You know, you don't run your household that way. We don't run our business that way. We don't depend on electricity every day here. Sure, to run your air conditioning, sure to run your lights. But if I was dependent on a solar field today, solar panels or wind farm, with the overcast we've had this week, the rain we've had in our forecast, you don't think that they run the same when the sun's not shining on them, because they don't. And when there is no wind, what happens then? It's all unreliable. It's all untested to a big degree. It's tested at a little degree. That's why we need it in moderation. We need it to be a substitute and an ally to what we're already doing. We need the solar panels. We need the wind farms. I'm 100% for that. I'm 100% for anything that improves and makes this country better. But to put all our eggs in one basket, like I said earlier, that's so wrong. That's so short-sighted. And to let your interest rate choke your economy when we had the best economy going, That has to fall on the administration. Can't fall on the prior administration, because you look at what the interest rate was at that point, and you look at what it is today. And they're doing nothing to control that, except blaming big oil that they're making too much money, or blaming this industry that they're making too much money. And it's always the blame game. It's always the blame game. And they're sitting there with the power to make all the rules and all the laws. But they blame individual companies for making our interest and our economy and our inflation what it is today. Isn't that convenient? That is real convenient to always be pointing the finger at somebody else. Sooner or later, you're going to get somebody in that White House that'll stand up, a man or a lady, and say, look, I own it. It's me. The buck stops with me, good or bad, and be honest with the American people. Won't that be refreshing? I'd like to see, I hope I live to see that.